I'm gonna act up. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, you stirring the cup. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'm in the 7, I'm gonna act up. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, you stirring the cup. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up.
Is you thinking I'm jumping the leak in the leak? Immediately show up this evening and wait till you sleeping. Kick to the open, I'm scanning for motion. I'm just trying to make all my pockets obese. Don't want, I just want the Lucci. So me and all of my poochies can eat. For his loose change, take his boo thing out the PF chains and take him K get a steak or something. Something looking at me like I'm opaque or something. Don't I look like Drake or something? Something better tell mankind Undertaker coming.
Back up, I was told it's no back up. Darkness all in my back up, but I won't be a back up. Back up, living life in respect up. I might slip out and back up, but I won't be a victim. I'm in the 7, I'm gonna act up. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, you stirring the cup. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'm in the 7, I'm gonna act up. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, stirring the cup. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Come from off the top, the flow is hot, I got you shot. Come from off the top, you know I be smarter than Spock. Come from off the top, the flow is hot, I got you shot. Come from off the top, come from off the top.
Can't keep up, you too slow. You just watch, I control. I take half, you not whole. Got your mind, got your soul.
This is a scenario, I'm in your area, this is your definitely. Turn up your stereo, get this jumping like Mario, now you ain't with me. You terrible, I might embarrass you right here in front of your whole family. Hot in Nigeria, this is the year of the beer, leave it here on a chair so they know we was here. Staring in fear like a deer when the car coming near in the middle of the road, bit of beer. You don't wanna rock with the man, hands off of the grands, counting up bands while I talk to the fans. Knew I could jam, but the top wasn't playing. Now everybody wanna be friends. How you? Said I'm just fine, in the right place, at the wrong time. Said I go crazy, out of my mind. And I think back when daddy wrote down that it might scrape and it might grind, but you work hard and it might shine. Let me slow down, switch the time and quit hiding.
Back up, back up, back up, back up,
It is Top Plays time with me, your 2K MC. This week we've got your top heaves. Yeah, that's right, the deep shots, all the prayers that you all throw up. And go!
What? 2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA. It's the 2K Sports Pregame Show.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Tonight we'll get to see the Brooklyn Nets against the Denver Nuggets. Well, for Denver, more than solid play for them of late. 7 wins in their last 10 outings, making their mark and playing well. And one guy we don't talk enough, not even close, but we should be, Gary Harris.
Yeah, he's one of the better young players in this league. 2 guards. I mean, terrific shooter, great moving without the ball, and a great defender.
Early punchman. You see that? Gary Harris. I like his toughness. Not the biggest guy, but he's strong, and he competes, and he never cries. Punch me again.
No, put some ice on that. I don't want to hurt you. Let's go courtside. Thanks for joining us.
You mean icy hot.
Here are the Nuggets unloading from the team bus earlier on, anxious to get down to business with this road battle looming. And the game arrival, sponsored by Express. Dress like a pro. But traffic in New York City making its way back and forth between Manhattan and the borough of Brooklyn are setting tonight. Welcome everybody to another presentation of the NBA Live on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Brent Barry. From the sideline, we'll have David Aldridge. We'll be hearing from him in just a moment. Hey, Dave.
Well, Coach Mike Malone had this to say about his understated superstar, Nikola Jokic. Malone said he's truly beloved by all his teammates. No ego, a little bit goofy, doesn't take himself too seriously, and with his success, he's still the same kid. That's why everybody cares about him and respects him. Kevin?
The Nuggets lucky to have him. Thanks, David. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out east. Already we are in December. And take a look at the Nets. They reside in the 7th slot right now in the early part of the season.
Yeah, I think for the Nets, they've had an interesting season for sure. They're competitive, they're feisty, but they're not a team that's going to dominate for long stretches.
I just think if you're on the other side, Greg, how much are you looking at that team and saying, we're scared of them? So not a lot of fear from the opposition and what they're bringing to the table. They're good, they compete, but do they have that extra gear? I'm not sure.
Now let's take a look at the Nuggets opening lineup. Millsap and Jokic, the big men. Filling out the wings, Harris and Barton. And it's Murray in at the 1 spot. And for the Nets, Spencer Dinwiddie out there with Garrett Temple. Then it's Taurean Prince. Then it's Joe Harris. And it's Allen in at the 5 down low. And it's good from the elbow. Two very deep teams, great benches. Brent, talk about the mindset and the difference there between starting and coming off the bench.
You can assess, Kevin, throughout the first quarter or when it is that your time to check in the second quarter is about the rhythm of the game. What are we doing well? So when I go in, how much more can I enhance the advantage we have there? Or let's say it's a game where we're getting killed in transition. The most important thing I can do is communicate that message to the team. When we start that 4 or 5 minute stretch, let's focus on these two things to get ourselves back and righted for the rest of the night.
Oh, that's excellent. Looking at the last game for the Brooklyn Nets, it was a win against Charlotte.
Yeah, and with most of the arena against them, they just banded together and trusted one another to make the right play.
Yeah, and in that game, it turned into a massive scoring night. It wasn't so much about the game plan as it was establishing early confidence to get that win.
Tries again, and that's good for 2. Allen's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Well, he takes care of salvaging that possession for the offense by getting on the offensive glass.
Harris outside. To the wing right side. Millsap has the open look. A 3-pointer off the mark. Nets have gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game.
And slams it home and gets some camera time on the end of it.
He did. He spent a while up on that rim, didn't he? Murray with it. He's coming off a 10-point game against Boston. The pass to Jokic. Harris outside. Floats it up for Murray. Knocked loose. That one goes in.
Meeting the defense with a tenacious will to score. Murray giving you that effort.
Harris inside the line. And again, it's Brooklyn converting. For Denver, they've gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. Barton outside. Lets it go from deep. He's off on that one. So Brooklyn will take it the other way. Harris kicks to Prince. Shoots over Barton. Prince misses. And so it's Murray who brings the ball up for the Denver Nuggets. Trailing by 2. Millsap misses.
There's a little bit of pressure on him, but not enough to cause him to miss a shot that's in that close.
Here's Dinwiddie, and the rebound paying off as they pick up 2 on the second chance bucket right there.
And that's a lesson for the D. Fight harder on the glass.
Yeah, you just can't afford to give up second chance opportunities again and again.
Murray, good.
Well, Barton had a good feel about what was happening defensively, and his teammate was wide open.
Here's Temple. Hangs, and Harris lays it up and in.
And getting after it on the offensive glass and adding to that early total with the putback.
Sometimes guys come in with a great mindset trying to push the action until somebody stops him. Nobody there to do it that time. Well, with his touch from mid-range, Kevin, that's almost always good. That won't shake his confidence.
Basket good. And that's now 6 points for Spencer Dinwiddie.
I like how Taurean Prince moves the ball, consistent at getting it to his teammates within the offense.
Murray against Dinwiddie. Takes the three. Denver with a new 14. Jokic, no good.
Yeah, better than giving up the layup. You want to go in there and use the hard foul. They did it there. That's aggressive attitude defensively.
And they've done the job on the offensive glass.
And Prince comes to help. Murray dishes to Barton. Pass to Millsap. Murray outside. 6 to shoot. Three-pointer. Barton buries the long-range jumper. Barton's got 5 points so far.
Off-season work and shooting the basketball paying off for Barton there. This guy you have to keep your eye on if he gets the ball around the arc.
Yeah, that's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
And so here's Denver, following the bucket by the Nets. Millsap passes to Murray. Back to Millsap. On the wing, Harris. No good from outside.
Just doing the job on the backboard.
And a one-year player at Texas, Garrett Allen came into the league as a bit of a project. He's got ample playing time to develop in Brooklyn.
Here's Barton following the three-pointer by Brooklyn. Sweet little floater. He's got 7. Nets leading by 8. Here's Dinwiddie. That one goes in for him too, making it look easy. He's now 4 for 4. And Greg, safe to say, Allen's defense is ahead of his offense.
Yeah, but his mobility and leaping ability serve him well as a finisher, providing that vertical spacing teams like to have inside.
The offensive rebound. Wide open look here for Murray. That's good. And it's Millsap with the assists.
Not just the accuracy in the quarter, it's his movement and the energy that's getting him on this nice roll.
Took him no time at all on that one.
Just playing with poise and confidence, and they continue to put points on the board.
Yeah, just really pouring it on right now, trying to take away the opposition's motivation to keep competing in this one.
You know what, though? Sometimes you can be too open. I think it may have surprised him, and that's why he missed.
And the shot goes in.
And their offense already in a flow. Some stellar shooting to jump out to this lead.
Now here's Murray. He has 7. Inside. And Paul Millsap, the bucket on the assist by Murray.
Yeah, I feel for him right now, guys. He's much better than this 1 for 4 start. He just needs to relax a little bit out there and let that game come around to him.
And count it, the shot is good. He'll go to the free throw line.
And they have owned the paint so far, and the score reflects it.
Yeah, the bully ball tonight has paid dividends. Highly effective down there with the physical play.
Brooklyn shooting their first foul shot of the game.
And 74% has been the mark for them on the season thus far.
Denver with a platoon swap here on the floor.
So many finishers on this Denver Nugget team, and a great second unit that comes in and changes the pace. It's the passing that really helps that Denver Nugget offense get into a flow and make them very difficult to guard. Not a surprise they were second in assists last year.
Nets leading by 12. From deep, Jordan. Craig pulls it in. Nugget shooting in this first quarter around 38%. They're looking a bit creaky out there. Pass to Plumlee. Floats one, and that's 2 points on the layup. And Brent, when you take a look at the Nuggets, it's almost as if every bucket comes from that extra pass.
Yeah, the team was in the middle of the road last year in terms of their made threes, but second in threes that were assisted on, so ball movement imperative to the success of their offense. And of course, we know it kind of starts there with that point center in Jokic.
Here's Mwaba. Morris with the rebound. The Nuggets trail by 10. Here's Beasley. Softly drops in the floater.
Always fun to look at. Not tremendously efficient, but the floater, boy, those sure are pretty.
Here's Mwaba. Drops it in from 14 feet away.
You're off to a strong start here early. 6 points off second chance buckets.
Passes it to Craig. And the layup is good after a nice lead pass.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
Tries a three. Drains it from beyond the arc. And the Nets lead by 11.
And the defense looks soft early on. They've got to sum it up. A little more sense of urgency.
Morris against Shumpert. Morris dishes to Plumlee. Out to Morris. Puts up a three. Rebounded by the Nets. Last game against the Nuggets, they lost in the Mile High City.
Yeah, and looking back at their last game against this club, they were badly out-rebounded.
The Nuggets trail by 11. To the middle, here's Plumlee, and it's slammed in by Plumlee.
Yeah, that's what he's doing best right now. Plumlee loves to convert as close to the rim as possible.
Here's Temple. It's good for his fourth bucket of the night. He's shooting 4 of 8.
You know, it's going to be tough to win when you give the other team second and third opportunities to score the ball.
Here's Beasley. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. It's going to be on DeAndre Jordan. Brent, if you were building an offensive system from scratch, what would be your favorite style of play?
I would really tend to lean on 3 guards that could handle the basketball, Kevin. Guys who can initiate plays from all over the floor and really look to find players that are smart about playing off the ball. You combine 3 of those guys with the skill set, so one has it and the other 2 are maneuvering around. They're going to cause so much commotion. They're going to cause so many breakdowns defensively within a possession that a multitude of playmaking players, that would be tremendous. And
tough
all of those
defend,
guys,
right? I mean,
yeah, but all those guys too, Kevin. On top of that, if we talked about their physical nature and stature, I would want guys that are 6'6", 6'7", and long, because when you get back to the other end, you want them to be able to coordinate and take up enough room defensively to cause some problems. But man, 3 guards, 3 long guards, and this is something that Phil Jackson relied on during the years when they won championships in Chicago. He always looked for long guards. Aside from Jordan and Pippen, there was the Ron Harpers of the world that helped accentuate what they could do on the perimeter.
Here's Morris after the made shot from Iman Shumpert. And there's a whistle that goes on Iman Shumpert. That's his first foul.
That's his first personal foul.
And Plumlee kicks to Craig. A 3 from Morris.
And guys, still early, but I'd like to see them crash the offensive glass.
Here's Mwaba. And that one, good. And the Nets lead by 13.
Displaying intensity right off the opening tip, especially on the offensive end.
Yeah, if you walked in at any point during this game to watch 5 minutes of play, one team played harder. We know who that was.
Morris against Shumpert. The pass to Craig. It's hauled in by DeAndre Jordan.
And the pressure he put on that shot forced the miscue.
Those are all the little things about effort there. He just gets out there and contests, and that's just enough. And
the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn. You talk about solid role players, Brent. Mason Plumlee fits the bill.
Does such a great job consistently of coming in, being a physical player, setting screens and rolling. Probably an underrated part of his game is the way that he passes the ball, but never is going to get your team out of sorts with the way that Mason can play within his role.
Get a chance to check out the standings out west. Already we're in December. You look at Denver, right there in 5th position, middle of the pack in the conference.
And you know, for the Nuggets, this hasn't been the breakout season that many were predicting, but they're still very much in the hunt for a high postseason seed, and that will keep them focused here during the season's final stages.
Well, the goal is very defined. They have to have a strong finish to the season and make sure they get home court advantage for at least the first few rounds of the playoffs.
I mean, the number of points they've scored in the paint already here is eye-opening.
Here's Shumpert, and that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up.
And here's a look at some numbers for Plumlee. How his last 10 games have gone. He's getting around 8 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. And he's done his share of the work for the team, definitely making an impact.
Well, the numbers, if you look at them, impressive all the way around, and he's not letting the team down.
The first free throw is good.
Well, Shumpert, an important piece to this basketball team. He comes in, he does a lot of things well, and accepts the defensive responsibility that is placed on him.
And both free throws good for Shumpert. And with the signing of Durant and Irving along with DeAndre Jordan, Greg, are the Brooklyn Nets now claiming the mantle for the top team in New York?
Listen, they were already the better team a season ago. After stealing the Knicks' thunder in free agency, acquiring the superstar talent, they're poised to steal the Knicks' cultural relevance as well.
The drive by Jordan. And again, no good by Brooklyn. To the paint, here's Grant. The shot comes out, and it's the Nets taking it the other way. Waba passes to Claxton. Fades back. No good from Jordan.
He just doesn't look like himself this quarter. Something's missing.
Well, he's missing, and it's starting to affect a little bit in his body language, and you just don't want to see that. Well, he seems to be in the right place at the right time more often than anybody that's on the court here tonight. We see that pay off.
A strong finish under heavy pressure all over.
DeAndre just muscling up a bit down there, refuses to let the defense tie him down.
Here's Morris. From deep three-point range, and the last second attempt does not go in for him. And so it's Brooklyn. Their lead at 11 points to end the quarter. They've dictated the pace, pushed the ball at every chance, and it's paying off for them. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. Nikola Jokic, a former second-round pick, turned star in the league, talks about what the game means to him.
Basketball, like passion, love. Like that is the thing I play. Like when I know 4, 6, 7 years old, I don't know. Like basketball is always in my life. That like I think it's passion. I think it's passion.
In basketball, Greg, a big deal in Jokic's native land of Serbia.
And I love his creativity. There's an artistry and a freedom in how he plays the game.
And so far through one quarter, it's been a lopsided game. We'll see if that changes here in the second. And guys, the Nets enjoying a nice lead here.
Well, they use the fast break to generate some easy buckets before the defense could get set.
Yeah, they did a great job. Just the initial thrust of that attack, as soon as they got the ball, constantly in transition.
So on the floor for Denver, it's Morris and Beasley at the 1 and the 2. Grant is out there with Plumlee, and it's Craig in at the 3. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, Kenny Atkinson, who's a native of Long Island, now has his dream job, coaching the Brooklyn Nets. He doesn't need praise or recognition. Instead, he's fueled by the fear of failure. He says, I always feel like I'm one banana peel away from never being in the NBA again. And Kevin, he's got his team playing with that same determination.
David, he sure does. Thank you very much. And it's slammed in by Plumlee.
And although an undersized center, more than making up for it with some serious hops.
And they call the foul, so he's got the and one chance here to make it a three-point play. For Brooklyn, they have made 3 free throws so far. Haven't missed any. So for the Nets, Jared Allen's checked in for Jordan. And Dinwiddie's subbed in for David Nwaba. Murray's checked in for the Nuggets.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
Seems like nearly everyone, Brent, can shoot the 3. Records being broken every year. How long do you think this age of shooting is going to last?
The tipping point, I'm not sure where that is, but the fact that the Houston Rockets in the past 2 seasons have done what it is that they've done, shooting more 3s than 2s for 2 consecutive seasons, is just a mind-boggling thing to me, Kevin.
But where has it gotten?
Well, I think that we're kind of at
the tipping
maximum.
point.
I think we are at the tipping point. I don't know how much more you can do, but the teams that are seeing those other teams having success with it are trying to emulate it.
They are.
Without the talent that you have. So the next few years are going to be interesting to see how it is or where it is that a transformative player maybe brings the game back towards inside the three-point line, or what strategies change to create even more three-point shots.
Changing ends quickly. He's rewarded with a high percentage look.
Yeah, the defense trying to do their best to slow him down, but when he gets room like that, you got to look out.
And guarding him on the perimeter isn't a priority for them right now, but if this continues, it will be.
Right side, Millsap. It's blocked, and it's out of bounds. The Nuggets able to retain possession here. The Nets making a switch here. Prince is checked in. Gary Harris is checked in for Denver. And Denver has possession. 15-point game. Murray and blocked. That one goes careening off the glass. And here in the second quarter of action with a hair under 2.5 minutes played so far. Musa with the bucket. And so it's Murray who brings the ball up for the Nuggets. Barton wide open. He fires, and it's off from three-point range.
Still trying to calibrate right now because he had 1 3 in the first quarter, but nothing since.
And the shot is good.
Prince is such a tough player out there. Does not mind the bump.
Here's Murray after Taurean Prince's bucket. Barton in the corner, fires the 3, makes the bucket. Now he's got 5 field goals, 5 for 8 in the game.
Just a positive force right now for these guys, and though his team has fallen a bit short, it's not because of him.
The baseline J. Allen's shot is off. The Nuggets trail by 14. It's Barton with the drive. Millsap trying to get open, and that one's good. Barton's got 7 points for the quarter.
Man, he's just been impressive tonight and efficient from everywhere on the floor. Perfect night.
And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the fouls. And taking a broader look here at the year-over-year scoring trend for Harris.
And looking at his offensive numbers from the past few years, it seems like teams around the league have kind of figured him out. He's having to work a lot harder for his points, and they haven't been coming nearly as easily as they used to.
Shooting 2.
And the first one drops. Brent, when we talk about home court advantage, do you feel it's the same as it used to be? It has that same impact?
I do think it's still hugely important, Kevin. It's less important when there's a team that has been together for a long time and has proven that they can take their wares on the road and come home with a victory, but it absolutely gives you a level of comfort as a player to get into your routine, to be at a place that seems familiar. Something deep down psychologically helps every member of that team being at home.
From outside the arc, good, and the assist goes to Murray. Murray's got 4 assists in the game.
The confidence that Gary Harris is playing with right now, he is ready to shoot once that ball touches his mitts.
Well, you can see it's a matter of pride out there for these guys.
Not always the best scenario, but in this game, pride takes over. You score on me, I'm going to come back and score on you.
And so it's Brooklyn with it, following Will Barton's three-point attempt.
2 teammates connecting right there. Slick feed.
Now here's Murray. He has 7, and the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back.
And that's a rare turnover, just their first here in the half. So that's one thing we've seen them do pretty well, valuing their possession.
Here's Dinwiddie, and he overshot that one, missing.
The shot's there for him, and he's got to take it. I don't care if he doesn't convert. That's a shot he has to continue to take. And a moment now to check out some of the numbers for Barton. He's averaging 14 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. And he's done his share of the work for the team, definitely making an impact.
Well, the numbers, if you look at them, impressive all the way around, and he's not letting the team down.
And the call will be against Harris. That's his first foul. Now Murray. A good portion of the scoring has come from him. He averages more than 18 points a game. Jokic. Yep, that one goes in there. Jokic has got 6.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Count that bucket.
Looks like he's got more feel tonight, like he's really got a good grip on that ball as he's letting it go.
For 3, Murray. Nice. 4 for 7 from the floor with that shot.
And the D has gotten a little bit laxed here defending the triple.
Here's Harris. That one falls coming off Dinwiddie's feet. He's got 9. The Nuggets trail by 14. Pass to Murray. And Denver again with the bucket.
And that's where Murray's speed shines through. He gives the D no time to react off that pass.
Here's Allen. And it's sent back by Jokic. And Murray, here we go. And he banks in the layup.
That's the kind of passing right there that makes a difference, not just in that possession, but maybe on your play for the entire game.
And it's sent back by Jokic.
Deceptive reach from Jokic there, swatting that shot away using those long arms.
And Harris wide open. He shoots. That is good. And the Nets' lead is cut down now to just 8 on the basket from Barton.
Again and again, they're dissecting the defense and creating those high-percentage looks from inside.
Timeout called the Nets. Brent, on both ends of the floor, Will Barton is an effective spark plug for this team.
Yeah, he can fire you up out there, Kevin. He can do some things, obviously, defensively to get the team going and igniting the fast break. And then offensively, I know Mike Malone might not agree with all of the choices from Will Barton, but when he gets it going, it's an extra spark for this Nuggets squad.
Garrett Temple has checked in for the Nets. Let's take a look at the real stats, the real scores from the real NBA. These guys have been grabbing rebounds in bunches to lead the NBA over the last 10 games. Third is Jared Allen.
When it comes to rebounding, it's been a stupendous stretch for him. He's been using his body and strength so effectively.
The Nuggets trail by 10. Barton outside. And the three off target.
And I thought that was going to drop. It looked good from here.
Temple, and he uses the glass on the layup. Temple's got 11.
More and more signs of the skill set of Taurean Prince as he finds an open teammate.
And so it's Murray with it. He brings it up for the Denver Nuggets. Some nice ball movement by the Nuggets. For three, Harris. He makes that one drop, only his second in 5 tries.
Yeah, this story in the second quarter, much different than the one in the first. We're finally seeing some aggression.
And it's sent back by Jokic. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Harris.
And let's see some numbers here on Jamal Murray. He's really stood out for them over the past month. Second in free throw percentage, and he's in the top 5 in the league in steals. Those hands are like meat hooks. Not much gets by him.
And you never see him get nervous when he steps to the line. That's why he's second in the league in free throw percentage.
You know, and he started off shooting it pretty well, but here in the second, he has started to falter.
Harris passes to Barton. Pass to Murray. Pulls up from the corner, and there's another one for the Nuggets.
Murray right now just on a roll, scoring at will on the offensive end.
And out of bounds as the Nuggets gain possession.
Nuggets ball.
The Nuggets trail by 7. Open shot by Harris. Misses off the left iron.
The defense better tighten up on the mid-range there. Much, much tighter. You expect him to make every single one of those.
Harris, good. And here is Murray. He's got 16. Passes to Barton. Shoots the 3. Good, and the assist goes to Murray. Murray's got his 5th assist in this one.
Great quarter for him at the offensive end, trying to will his team back in the game.
Temple gets the bucket.
And that set them apart today, guys. Their success with the mid-range.
Here's Murray. A good portion of the scoring has come from him. He averages more than 18 points a game. And here's Harris from the arc. Another 3 for Denver.
And he's now made 3 3-pointers here in the second, starting to get it going.
Dinwiddie attacking. Good defense by Jokic.
Maybe a time to rest him right now. Just give him a bit of a breather. Try to help him get back on track.
Brooklyn with the rebound. Allen's got 10 rebounds here tonight. So active. Here's Harris. Paul Millsap with the rebound.
Well, if you believe in the numbers, that mid-range shot is not a high-value shot, even with little or no defense on you.
Temple gets the bucket. Temple's got 15. Martin with it. 19 points in the game. Timeout is called. First of the game for the Nuggets. And the 6'8" forward Taurean Prince showing continued improvement at the offensive end.
In the system that he played in for the Atlanta Hawks, Taurean Prince was known as a good two-way player. With his length and his ability to defend, he's going to be a great complement to scorers like Kyrie Irving and Spencer Dinwiddie.
with a platoon swap here on the floor. Here is Plumlee. 10 points for him. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. Brent, as the season goes on, and here we are about halfway through, are players' roles still evolving?
Not the starters at this point, Kevin. They're pretty much
They
set.
are what they are.
They are set in their ways, and they're set in the minutes that they're going to be playing. What the coaches are trying to find are unique combinations that might have to be on the floor because circumstances from the other team are dictating so. So which are my lineups that I can have out there that defensively I'm going to shut down great guard play? Which of the lineups do I have to have out there in order for us to have enhanced shooting ability for a stretch of minutes? Which ones are going to speed my team up to put pressure on the opposition? I think that's where it is that coaches are trying to do a little bit of tweaking.
Both shots good from the stripe.
One area after watching Denver over the course of the past 2 years showing what they can do offensively is for them to improve on the defensive end of the floor. About middle of the pack last year, they can get into that top 5. They become very formidable as a finals team.
Morris finds Plumlee. Jordan with some nice D.
How about the timing he shows there to challenge that shot?
Yeah, not easy to do there, and that's a guy that you can tell takes every possession defensively very seriously.
And Morris has got the ball here for Denver. They trail by 7, and it's Beasley finishing it off.
And didn't do anything fancy there, but didn't need to.
Nope, his only concern right now is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points. And for the Nuggets, I think they concede, Brent, that defense is a work in progress.
Well, that's why they jumped, though, last year, Kevin. 2 years ago, they were at the very bottom of the league, and last year showed some signs of getting some cohesion on that end of the floor. If they get into that top 5, Kevin, this team could be on their way to the NBA Finals.
The Nuggets trail by 5. There's the pass to Morris. Brooklyn with the rebound. Jordan's got his 4th rebound in this one. Down low. Count it. Now it's a 7-point Nets lead.
Really heads up there. A play where you locate the best open pass and then you get it there for an easy bucket.
Beasley left side. Some nice ball movement by the Nuggets. Just 5 to shoot. 3. Here's Plumlee, and it's blocked by Jordan.
Well, the arms of DeAndre Jordan are like a horizon line. They go on forever, which allows him to send those shots back.
Temple gets the bucket.
He doesn't look satisfied with the lead right now. He wants more, and he looks like he's going to get it.
The Nuggets trail by 9. Morris dishes to Beasley. We've got 28 seconds left to play in the first half. Had the space there, but it's offline.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
Here's Claxton. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. Claxton's got 4 this quarter.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Pass to Grant. Looking to end the run. He gets it in there.
Grant at 6'9", using that length right there. A nice soft touch in close to the rim.
For Denver, they have hit all 4 of their chances so far in this one. The free throw drops for Grant.
Jeremy Grant just has such a great combination of athleticism and explosiveness. It's up to him to find familiar spots on the floor and do a good job of playing off his teammates to make an impact on every game that he plays.
And so it's the Brooklyn Nets with a 10-point lead, some breathing room heading into the break. They're feeling very confident, shooting the ball with great efficiency and dictating the pace. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, welcome back. It is bedlam here. The hometown crowd loving that first half. I'm Ernie Johnson along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. It's Brooklyn out in front at the half. They lead by 10. And over to Shaq. What do you think about Brooklyn?
Well, the offense is running on all cylinders. Guys are focused, executing, not playing outside of themselves. That's why their shooting percentage was so high. See it up there in the stratosphere. Anyway, they're mixing things up, which keeps the defense scrambling.
And over to Kenny. What did you think about Denver?
Their three-point shooters struggle to get into a rhythm. It's a mental thing. You start clanking them, and your teammates start. It's contagious. Now, percentage-wise, shooting in the low 30s, it's not horrific, but it's not great. And they have to improve their accuracy from deep in the second half, or they're going to have a hard time coming back.
That about wraps it up. Time now for the second half of the game. We go to Kevin Harlan for the call.
And we've got third quarter of basketball for you. 2 quarters in the books. Here's Harris. Our second half of basketball, and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. Setting the floor for the Nets. Taurean Prince is out there with Joe Harris. Then it's Garrett Temple. Then there's Spencer Dinwiddie, and it's Allen in at the center. He gets a chance now to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, tampering is a touchy subject, but it's a word we're hearing more often. Teams want to retain their star players, but they know that there's always talk during a season. Now, teams can only express interest in a player when he hits free agency. Players can talk amongst each other freely all season. Star players like LeBron James are tied into their front offices. And some people wonder if there's much of a difference between what the player says and what his team is thinking. Kevin?
Good point, David. Thank you. Harris misses. Nets leading by 9. Shoots from the baseline. It's hauled in by Jokic. Jokic has got the glass covered here tonight. 11 boards for him.
Well, Coach Mike Malone has grown up with this young Nuggets team. He says that he believes in the youth of this team.
Well, the future is so bright for the Denver Nuggets, and really where you have to give Mike Malone a ton of credit is when they made the decision between their 2 bigs, Jokic and Nurkic, sticking with Jokic and then changing their entire offensive style to play from a point center position. It has paid huge dividends.
Over a minute and a half into the third quarter of action. And so it's Murray who brings the ball up for the Denver Nuggets. 11-point game. And that one's good. Barton.
Another bomb for him right now. His three-point shooting might be the key to cutting that lead.
Well, he's doing everything he can to make them competitive. And by everything, I mean draining threes.
The Nuggets trail by 10. And it's Murray penetrating. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. It goes on Taurean Prince.
I like that penetration there. Murray getting to the cup with great quickness. Talk about players who are X factors for their team, and for the Nuggets, Jamal Murray is one of those guys. He is a guy that once he gets going, feels like the team can become unbeatable.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And he makes the first. As you said, Brent, a hot Jamal Murray can take over a game.
Big-time investment from the Nuggets this offseason in what Jamal Murray is to them now, but what he can be in the future. And I think right now what he's looking to be is as consistent as he possibly can be, night in and night out, to prepare this team each season to play its best basketball in the postseason.
And I have just been so impressed with the way Jamal Murray has added to his game. Keeps pushing himself every offseason to make the most of his abilities as a player and continues to be a consistent threat from the outside.
Here's Harris. Spencer Dinwiddie picking up that last basket. Martin. Basket is good. The assist from Harris. And now 24 points for Will Barton.
And you can see how dangerous that catch-and-shoot game can be. Will Barton continues to impress.
Harris, good. And with Murray, Greg, you forget how young he is. He entered the NBA right out of his freshman year at Kentucky.
I mean, Murray was taken 7th in his draft and has kind of flown under the radar from that class. But the more you watch him, the more you feel like you're seeing a star in the making.
Temple gets the bucket.
On a roll now. He is on fire.
Right around 3 minutes into the second half. Here's Harris. The rebound by Prince. Prince has got his 4th rebound in this one.
Well, his shots aren't dropping, and they haven't been able to keep pace, but they trust him enough to keep going to him, see if he can find it.
Traditionally, that's how you want to finish the break, right at the rim.
Yeah, anything other than a layup in that situation, probably disappointing. Had numbers, took advantage.
Here's Murray following the bucket by the Nets. Inside, here's Millsap, and Millsap slams it in.
Well, Jokic with great anticipation there, one of his better qualities as a passing big.
Here's Temple, and the bucket is good. 3-point play chance here for him.
And despite the size disadvantage, attacking the heart of that defense.
Yeah, no stopping him on that play. Sometimes even the taller defenders are helpless to stop him.
The Nuggets trail by 15, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Barton.
All right, a chance to look at the stats for Nikola Jokic. A wonderful string of games he's put together here lately. 7th in rebounding, and he's in the top 20 in assists per game. His talent for creating easy buckets for his teammates, such an asset.
And he's a top 10 rebounder this year for good reason. He's unbelievably driven, and he competes with you for the entire game. Timeout called, the Nets.
Well, whether things are good, bad, or indifferent, coaches will have adjustments to make throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, not just there to pump up or to discipline players. You got to make sure that the coach makes the proper adjustments and has his team in the right mindset to carry it out.
And a quick look here at some of the numbers for Dinwiddie.
And right now, he's in one of those grooves where he has a tremendous feel for the game. His assist numbers these past 5 look a lot different than from the rest of the season. And by different, I mean better.
Jokic trying to free himself up. Dinwiddie with the bucket. Dinwiddie's got 8 points in the quarter.
Big miscommunication on defense. He recognizes it and quickly takes advantage.
Well, I know they don't have mobile devices out there for texting, so they might as well talk to one another, Greg.
And he slams it one-handed.
Gives the team such a great element, having a one guard who can get to the 10.
Certainly something every team wants to have.
Like to see that assertiveness, especially from the guy who's going to orchestrate your offense.
And that one's good. Millsap.
Maybe the halftime break was good for him, allowed him to step back, calm himself down, get himself in the right frame of mind, and now shots are falling. Pretty lax defense there. He's going to see fewer and fewer chances if he can't bury those kind of jumpers.
Martin passes to Harris, and Jokic slams it in.
Just continuing to develop an overall game that was evident coming into the league. Gary Harris getting better at spotting the open man.
Now here's Dinwiddie. 25 points in the game.
This quarter belongs to him, and that's how you do it when you're out in front. Don't play it safe. Keep that momentum going.
The Nuggets trail by 17. Puts it up. And good. Got the friendly bounce off the right side of the rim. 20 points for Jamal Murray.
Well, there's a little bit of Murray's handle on display. The D looked totally confused as to what to do there.
It's good. And the Nets lead by 17.
And of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is just smash-mouth physical basketball, guys.
Jokic passes to Millsap. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. It goes on Taurean Prince.
Given how skilled Millsap is in the post, sometimes you have no choice but to foul him and hope he misses the shot. Well, you think about the season that Millsap was injured 2 years ago and how much that took away some development. Then a year later, Denver does some great things with Millsap in the lineup. Then they re-sign him this offseason thinking they can take another step. And Paul Millsap, such a good, solid defender and scorer, was devastating for them in the playoffs and a source of valuable offense on that end. Paul Millsap, the veteran and the adult in the room for this Denver team.
Free throw dropped for Millsap. And for Millsap, he's a vocal leader when he's on the floor.
Well, his defensive numbers were so off the charts when he played in Atlanta for the Hawks alongside Al Horford. That's the reason I think that Tim Conley and the Denver Nuggets looked at the addition of Paul Millsap, providing them foundation on a nightly basis. He could be the concrete for them on the defensive end of the floor.
And so Paul Millsap nails both of them.
Well, a great player on a great role at the charity stripe. The D has got to be careful about being too aggressive on him and sending him back for freebies.
And that one's good, Shumpert.
Iman Shumpert getting himself in the right position to mix it up on the offensive glass.
And so it's Murray with it. He brings it up for the Nuggets. Trailing by 17. From the arc. And it's Millsap. That time on the assist by Jokic. 13 points for Millsap.
Are we sure that's the same player, guys? He looks completely different. What confidence he's playing with, and look how engaged he is on both ends. The defense certainly wasn't bad, but they've got to be a little bit quicker on contesting the shot.
Here's Millsap after Taurean Prince's bucket.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
Here's Harris. Another one falls for Brooklyn.
And a lot of teams avoid the mid-range jumper, but they seem to be using it well.
The Nuggets trail by 18. In the corner, it's Harris. They grab their own miss. They shoot again, and Jokic lays it up and in. Jokic has got 4 points in the quarter.
Well, Jokic is big, Jokic is long, and he does a great job there of corralling that ball and taking advantage of his length. That's the kind of passing you want there. Work the ball around, keep it moving, try to get an assist on every bucket.
Time called here. The Nuggets decide to talk it over.
And he might not be a household name just yet, but Joe Harris is one of the game's true dead-eye marksmen. You can make the case he's the most underrated shooter in the league.
She repeated like a parrot, and apparently she gon' keep my never win. Where yo was at when I was sleeping on the couch in the whip? Probably with another. I'm on another tip. My skin so tense. Don't think 1 on 10 against me. I won't win. I don't win. Watch your statements. Guard your chin. Guard your heart. Guard your life. Find your sin. Mind your likeness. You doing without, cause she ain't looking within. But if you ever in doubt, get a suspend. Yeah, for life, baby, I'm just for you. Baby girl, I'm your soldier.
So it's both teams making substitutions here. Chance now to check out the NBA's most efficient scorers. Number 1, Jared Allen.
He is a finisher, plain and simple. That field goal percentage just absolutely jumps out at you. It borders on astonishing.
Timeout called the Nets. Maybe not the most famous beard in the league, but Joe Harris's beard last year, Greg, drawing some notice in the NBA.
The lumberjack look belying his feathery touch. Good size and strength, enabling him to play the small forward position when needed.
Yeah. Hey, these can't match my flow. Live fast while we slow. Eat, stay with me. You know, yeah. Home for a while, then back on road. I'm gone. Come back and claim my throne. You mad? You broke? I'm on. We toast, West Coast. We brag, we boast. Then travel across the globe. Turn that loud as it goes. Been counting pounds and euros. I can't be playing with these. They bad, I know. Go ahead, get you some. Yeah. Just watch me get the sun. Go ahead, get you some. Yeah. Get you some. Just can't wait till I get the sun. Go ahead, get you some. Yeah.
And a moment here to see the numbers for Jared Allen. First in shooting percentage, 9th in rebounding, and of course, rim protection always at a premium. That's an important part of his game. Top 20 in block spur.
And you're right, he's been the pinnacle of scoring efficiency. Never seems to take a bad shot. That's why he's tops in field goal percentage. Now, here is Morris. And looking at his production, he averages a little more than 7 points a game.
Their three-point percentage has taken a big leap here in this second half.
Here's Shumpert. Rebound by the Nuggets. And the shot goes in. 10 points for Jared Allen.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
Over to the left wing. Three-pointer. Craig can't get it to go. Brooklyn leading by 17. Here's Mwaba. Sinks the three-pointer. Mwaba's got 7 points.
Just a little confusion among the D as to who was supposed to be on it.
And so it's Morris with it. He'll bring it up for the Nuggets. And again, Denver no good.
Oh, man, you know he'd love to have that one over.
Here's Claxton. Rebound by the Nuggets. Plumlee's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. It's Beasley on the wing. Good on the triple. He's got 9.
And perimeter scoring, I have to imagine it was a topic of discussion at halftime.
Maybe trying to find a little bit more space and ball movement to get guys open at the three-point line.
Here's Beasley. He's got 9. In the corner, it's Plumlee. No good with the triple.
Ooh, he missed an easy chance to put some points on the board. He won't get a much better look at that kind of shot again here probably tonight.
Musa. Some solid defense from Grant.
And the pressure he put on that shot forced the miscue.
Those are all the little things about effort there. He just gets out there and contests, and that's just enough.
Drops in the tray. Beasley's got a pair of threes now here in the third for Denver.
The defense a step slow, and you can see the results.
Here's Shumpert, and Grant sends it back.
A skilled shot blocker, Grant, coming over and is so quick off the floor, swats that one out.
Morris, no good.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
For Brooklyn, they have made 6 of their 7 attempts at the line in this one.
2 shots.
free throw, good. Allen. DeAndre Jordan's checked in for Musa. Both good from the line that time. Here's Morris. An amazing finish with a hand right in his face. Morris has got his second basket of the game.
And so far, going for more of an inside presence here in the second half, getting away from the three-point shot.
That can help out your offense. Amon Shumpert now knocking down twos from the mid-range.
Now here's Beasley. He's got 12. Grant outside. Back to Beasley. And Jordan sends it back. They retain possession. A three-pointer is right on target. Grant's got 8.
Wow, Jeremy Grant continuing to work on his game, stretching it out to the three-point line.
Yep, that one goes.
And not quite as aggressive from outside as they were in the first half, sticking to the high percentage shots, playing smart with the lead.
Now, here is Morris. It's Beasley on the wing. Off target from three-point range.
And even without that three ball dropping for him, the defense should have done more on that last play.
The Nuggets trail by 17. Morris outside. Pass to Craig. Now Beasley. The dish to Plumlee. And it's blocked. Here's Nwaba. He's covered by Grant. That one goes. Count it. 9 points in the game so far.
Nice job creating for the easy deuce.
The Nuggets shooting it well here in the third, about 50%. Morris passes to Plumlee. Some nice ball movement by the Nuggets. Craig, good.
After not having a 3 during the first half, he's made 2 now this second half, and he looks hungry for more.
And it's Nwaba missing.
Shot didn't fall, but that play worked well to get a good look at the basket.
Yeah, an efficient offensive possession. They found the look that they wanted, just didn't go in. You know, all the way to the bucket, no resistance, just swipe the candy from him.
Offensive rebound. Allen makes that one his 6th of the night, shooting a very healthy 6 for 9.
Now he's put on a shooting display here in the second half. He really seems to be in a great groove right now.
We've got 13 seconds left in the third. Now, here is Morris. 1 second left, and again it's Denver. Spencer Dinwiddie firing on all cylinders for Brooklyn. A terrific quarter for him, and now he has a total of 27 points. Shouldn't take him long to get up over 30, and we'll be right back after this. And it's time now to bring you our State Farm assist of the game.
And he sliced the D wide open with his feed. They had no chance to prevent that basket.
That's what great passing will do for you right there, dissecting the defense with that play.
And there may not be a lot of drama down the stretch as we head into the fourth quarter, but stranger things have happened. So out there for the Nuggets right now, we've got Will Barton, Plumlee out there with Jeremy Grant. Then there's Murray, and it's Craig in at the 2. And it's the Nuggets with the ball, following the miss by DeAndre Jordan. Craig passes to Plumlee. And the upcoming schedule for Brooklyn. On Wednesday, they'll host the Charlotte Hornets. And then on Saturday, they'll be matching up against Kyle Lowry and the Toronto Raptors.
And going up against the Pelicans, this is one where it would take a complete meltdown for them not to come away with the win. Anything can happen, but I'd be shocked if they don't come out on top.
That free throw, no good. He's off on the second.
And after spending his first NBA decade with the Clippers, DeAndre Jordan bounced around last season, remains a supreme athlete and rebounder, though, at that center position.
And Murray's got the ball here for Denver. It's a 16-point game. No good from Grant.
And the effort never stops with him. No easy shots when he's on the floor.
Well, it's about the defensive end, and that's what guys feed off. He gives the effort down there at all times.
And a nightly double-double threat is DeAndre Jordan, but some dissatisfaction with his play last season. Greg, why was that?
Well, I felt like his impact has tailed off just a bit from his peak with the Clippers. Sometimes the great athletes have more of an adjustment as they enter their 30s.
Here's Shumpert. Fouled on the shot and picks up 2 points. So one free throw coming up.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
The Nets making a switch here. Prince is checked in. Denver also making some changes. Jokic has checked in for Plumlee. Millsap comes in for Grant, and it's Gary Harris in for Torrey Craig. Free throw good. Amon Shumpert. Now Murray. Barton outside. Shumpert with some nice deep. Nets leading by 19. Here's Temple. Out of bounds. Denver takes possession. Spencer Dinwiddie's checked in for the Nets.
Spencer Dinwiddie.
Just over a minute and a half played here in the fourth. Barton in the corner. Three-pointer. Good, and the assist goes to Murray. Murray's got 9 assists in the game. Great passing. This one for 3. Dinwiddie with the bucket. Dinwiddie's got 15 points in just the second half.
Trying more and more to utilize the three-pointer. It's a good idea. That's his second 3 of the game. 1 in each half.
And here is Harris. Back to Murray. The 3. Another 3 for Denver.
Yeah, that's 2 bombs in a row from long range.
Prince outside. And the layup is good. And the Nets lead by 18.
Well, he has good size at his position, and Taurean Prince, even though traffic around him doesn't speed him up. Nice shot there.
Murray, the pass to Jokic. Some nice ball movement by the Nuggets. Millsap misses. Nets have gone 5 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Strong work at that end of the floor. Harris, no good.
Well, he finds some space in that in-between gap there, Kevin. Too bad he can't release that one on target.
Barton, no luck.
And listen, sometimes even the best of us are going to miss the easiest of opportunities.
The shot's good. 14 points for Taurean Prince.
Taurean Prince had his eyes on the rim the whole way there. Love how aggressive he was there on that drive.
Millsap left side. Buries it down low.
I mean, could we say he was playing possum a bit there in the first half? Because it seems to be a different guy out there, way more assertive.
Harris outside. Fires from 14, and that's Prince. That time on the assist by Harris. 16 points for Prince.
Where was the D on that one? Just too easy.
The Nuggets trail by 20. We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. And that one's good. Millsap.
That's pretty clever down low. Even when it looks like Millsap might be bottled up, he finds a way to get the ball up and softly to the rim.
Here's Temple. He feeds it to Prince. And it's sent back by Millsap. Here's Barton. Good, and the assist goes to Murray. Barton's got 5 points in the quarter.
Well, Barton takes some tough shots. Used to making them, he did there.
Harris's shot is good.
Well, he's been doing it all night. Why not go back to him?
Yeah, he's feeling it. Keep feeding him until he misses.
Here's Barton. Oh, and he plucks it off the glass. Wow. And he gets the whistle for the 3-second call.
And to make that mistake at this time is tough to come back from.
Well, not making things easier on themselves right now, that's for sure.
Nets leading by 18. A baseline J. That one wide left.
Not a bad shot from the mid-range. The D's giving it to him, and he's usually got an eye in that kind of range.
Swiped away. And here we go. Brooklyn fast break. Temple gets the bucket. Temple's got 26.
And this is why coaches talk about playing with pace. The scoreboard tells it all.
Kind of get a team defensively on their heels, and if you can keep pushing and keep attacking, they'd never find some kind of defensive balance to help slow you down.
And here are the Nuggets now, following the bucket by the Nets. 5 to shoot. They get it back. Here's Harris. The third shot of the possession finally falls for him.
Well, comfortable under pressure there. Gary Harris beating the defense in the painted area.
Here's Prince, and he drops in the layup off the glass. And the Nets lead by 20.
So far, he's a can't-miss player. A superb scorer who plays to his strength.
To the middle, deflects the pass. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Prince has got 10 points now just in this quarter.
Taurean Prince is doing it all. Damage from everywhere. Inside, outside, on the drive.
And now we've got the intentional foul. Of course, Dirk Nowitzki spent his whole career with the Dallas Mavericks. We don't see that much anymore, do we? From the beginning to the end with one team.
No, but I think we're going to still occasionally have anomalies like we did with Reggie being in Indiana for the years of his playing career. Nate McMillan was in Seattle for his playing career, now coach of the Indiana Pacers. So there will be times where we'll have that once or twice. It's not going to happen very much, Kevin.
Not in today's
not
NBA.
In today's game, and not with what's at stake.
And so it's Murray with it. He brings it up for the Denver Nuggets. Harris outside. Lays it up and banks it in.
A nice take from Gary Harris on the drive. No one getting in front of him there.
And the foul on Jamal Murray. That's his first foul.
That's his first personal foul.
Here's Harris. It's hauled in by the Nuggets. Jokic is the Nuggets trail by 20. Harris passes to Barton and misses it off the right side of the rim. Brooklyn's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Here's Temple, cans the 12-footer. Temple's got 9 points here in the second half. Nuggets have got a pretty good rhythm going offensively, shooting 8 of 15 for the quarter. Millsap kicks to Harris. Another 3 for Denver.
And he's on his way to putting up a big three-point total.
It's Allen on the wing. Over Jokic. And he sinks that one, hitting the back of the rim on the way in.
And yeah, he's not messing around. He wants no part of a comeback in this one.
Well, he's grabbed a tea and a blanket because he's putting this one to bed.
And that one's good. Millsap.
I like that from Murray right there. When he's passing it like this, it can make him so much better and so much more open.
Allen's shot is off. The Nuggets trail by 19. Murray finds Barton. They get a hand on it, and stolen by Harris. Out of bounds. Denver takes possession. Denver's gotten off to a great start from three-point range in the final quarter. They're a perfect 3 of 3.
Murray, not much fear there as he gets amongst the trees, looking in control down low.
Prince. That one misses. Now Denver takes it the other way. On the wing, Harris. Pass to Jokic. To the inside. And Paul Millsap, the bucket on the assist by Jokic. And that's now 21 points for Paul Millsap. Here's Temple. Nikola Jokic grabs the miss.
Probably not the shot that was drawn up for that possession, but you can't pass it up and you can't knock it down.
Playing from behind right here, not easy, but he is answering the bell.
Yeah, doing anything he can right now to get his team to cut into this lead and give them a chance.
And he's been a force on the glass all game long.
Yeah, it's almost like he's got a magnet on that ball here tonight. He's in the right spot all the time.
Now here is Harris. Jokic at basket number 6 to his stat sheet. He's now 6 for 10.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
And stolen by Murray. Barton outside. Now the feed to Millsap. The lead now cut to single digits. Millsap's got 23 points.
Just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
And yes, it's good.
He's played a huge role in this game to this point, but it looks like he just wants more. He wants to make sure that this lead holds up.
The Nuggets trail by 11. To the paint, here's Harris. Good, and the assist goes to Murray. And that's 21 points for Gary Harris.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
Timeout called, the Nets.
And Kevin, he saw his guys just a little sluggish out there. Oftentimes a timeout like this allows you to kind of just reset.
Presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Spencer Dinwiddie.
And guys, he's been about as close to perfection as you can be. The intensity he's played with has been amazing. Just no let up. And as fired up as he's been, he's never let his emotions get out of control.
Well, he needed a game like this badly. He's been struggling for a while now, but tonight he broke out of that slump in style. And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Hey guys, I was able to catch Kenny Atkinson's message to his team. His demeanor was not one of a coach whose team was well ahead. He said this is the time to turn up the heat, make one final push, and try to close out strong. We'll see if they were listening, guys.
Thanks, David. And it's the Nuggets with the ball. They trail by 11. Murray finds Jokic. No good off the back of the rim. And so Allen will bring it up for the Nets. 22 is their biggest lead. Got a piece of it. A floater. Good defense by Jokic. Denver's gotten off to a great start from three-point range in the final quarter. They're a perfect 3 of 3. Here's Barton. Allen with the rebound. Allen's Nets leading by 11. Baseline try. Count that one from Nwaba. Murray with it. Here's Harris. Another possession, another assist.
That makes 15 assists.
He's been one step ahead of the defense all game long. Here's Nwaba. Another one falls for Brooklyn. A minute 50 left in the fourth quarter. Down low, Jokic. Good, and the assist goes to Murray. Jokic has got 4 points in the quarter.
Jokic and body control. Hey, years ago we wouldn't have said that. I'm saying it now.
That shot, no good. Good work defensively by Millsap. Launches a three. Allen with the rebound.
Well, that's not a shot he's ever going to pass up, and he shouldn't. Despite the miss, no defender anywhere near him. He's got to shoot that one.
Good on the bucket. Nwaba's got 11 points here in just the second half. Here's Murray. 1:12 left to play in the final quarter. Barton passes to Jokic. Back to Barton for three. Allen with the rebound.
And he needs to find other ways to contribute besides shooting. Sometimes you have to learn how to play well when you're not playing well. And tonight's battle is going to end with a very clear winner, leaving nothing to chance. Impressive win for Brooklyn.
They really lit it up in this one. Fantastic offensive performance.
Definitely just simply shot the ball well. One of those games to be proud of.
And this will be a big win for them. Lucky win number 13 now in the bag.
No doubt they came in very motivated to win this one and finish the season series at a game apiece.
And you know, when you look at the huge impact he had, just a monster game for Spencer Dinwiddie.
And guys, I just felt he was tremendous tonight. His energy infected his teammates, and a wrecking ball on both ends.
Well, at this point, they're just trying to get back in sync. You want to play a good brand of basketball.
The consistency definitely is a key to some of the playoff performing teams, and tonight they just did not find it in this contest.
Shot and game clock separated by 5. Barton passes to Harris. Here's Jokic, and Jokic slams it in.
Jokic is a big center, tough to contain close to the basket. That's a nice throwdown.
Timeout called the Nets. They're leading by 13. There's 18 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, what's your take?
And a surprising timeout here with the game in the bag.
Sometimes you want to have these teachable moments on the floor and not in the next day's film session, so coach electing to do that here.
Here's Pinson. Allen right side. Here's Nwaba. From 13 feet, it goes down. And the Nets lead by 15.
Finishing strong. This is how you want to close things out.
Yeah, definitely putting a stamp on this one. A very, very decisive victory for the club tonight.
With the shot, it's in.
Impressive job by the players, coaches, and don't discount the impact of these fans.
Awesome to see their output tonight, trying to urge their team on, and that can always help. That home advantage of home fans getting you going, fully on display here.
And so it's Brooklyn easily grabbing this one. They won this game going away. They were the better basketball team by far tonight.
And you got to commend this sort of dominance, particularly here at home. It's a great feeling when you play almost a perfect game and to have that crowd be so pumped up.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. DeAndre, where did you try to make the most impact tonight?
Just trying to limit those guys to one shot. They have a really big team, so keeping them off the board. But, setting screens and rolling, putting pressure on those guys. Our guys are shooting the basketball, so we really open it up for easy looks.
That is how you can impact the game without touching the ball, DeAndre. Thank you. Kevin?
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Brett Barry, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. So long.